The Mughal Emperor Babur. With the decline of the Delhi Sultanate, there was no paramount power left in India. Several independent states in the north were at war with each other. In 1526, Babur from Fargana crushed the last of the Lodi ruler and established the Mughal rule in India. The great Mughal dynasty was ruled by Babur, Humayun, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Babur ruled from 1526 to 1530 AD. Descended from Timur on father's side and the Mongol Genghis Khan on his mother's side, he became king of Fargana at the age of 11 when he lost his father. He turned his attention towards India after his triple failure against Uzbeks to hold Samarkand. Babur's 5 expeditions into India are: in 1505, he led his first expedition at the age of 21, mainly to loot and not to occupy. In 1519 to 1522 AD, he raided India thrice during this period and captured Gandhar in 1522 AD. In 1525, Babur entered Hindustan and in 1526 defeated Ibrahim Lodi at the Battle of Panipat. On April 26, 1526, Babur declared himself the Emperor of Hindustan. Important conquests of Babur are: first, Battle of Khanwa in 1527. This battle was fought between Babur and Rana Sanga of Mewar of Khanwa. In this battle, Rajputs were defeated. The second battle was fought in Chanderi in 1528. Babur captured the fort of Chanderi, after which no Rajput chief could challenge Babur's authority. The third battle was Battle of Ghaggar in 1529 AD. Babur defeated Sultan Nusrat Shah of Bengal on the banks of the river Ghaggar. Babur died approximately at the age of 48 years and was buried in a garden in Kabul. Babur was a great conqueror but a poor administrator. He laid down the foundation of Mughal rule in India. He was a poet and a scholar. His autobiography, Tujhke Babari, is a dependable account of the history of Central Asia and India. He was a lover of nature and laid many gardens. Although an orthodox Sunni, he was not a fanatic. He did not favor Hindus and recognized jihad as a sacred duty. Nasiruddin Muhammad, better known as Humayun, was the second emperor of the Mughal Empire. Humayun was born in Kabul in 1508 AD. He was one of the most unfortunate rulers of the dynasty. Eldest son of Babur, he inherited the throne that was far from secure. Having conquered Hindustan in just 4 years, Babur had no time to set up a proper administration. Humayun's 3 younger half-brothers, Kamran, Askari, and Hindal, were constantly plotting against him. There was no law of succession amongst the Muslims. Therefore, after the death of a king, there followed a war of succession. Every prince asserted his claim to the throne. As per his father's wish, Humayun gave Sambhal to Askari and Alwar to Hindal. Kamran got the provinces of Kabul and Kandhar. Afghan amirs and Hindu Rajputs were making efforts to regain their lost empire. In particular, the Afghan chief Sher Khan in the east and Bahadur Shah of Gujarat threatened his hold in India. The important military expeditions of Humayun are: in 1532, Humayun defeated Afghan Sultan Mahmud Lodi, besieged the fort of Chunar under Sher Khan but did not succeed. In 1535 AD, he marched against Bahadur Shah of Gujarat but he failed to retain Gujarat. In 1538 AD, Humayun marched against Sher Shah and finally took Chunar. In 1539 AD, Sher Khan met the Mughal army at Chausa and defeated them. In 1540 AD, armies of Sher Khan and Humayun fought on the banks of the Ganges in the Battle of Bilgram. The Mughals were completely defeated and Sher Khan became the master of Delhi and Agra. Humayun was exiled. After his defeat, he kept wandering to Punjab and Sindh. While in exile, his son Akbar was born at Umarkot in Sindh in October 1542 AD. He regained all his lost territories from his brothers and Sher Shah and returned to India after 15 years. On January 24, 1556, he fell down the steps leading to the library and died. Humayun acted according to the deathbed advice of his father and treated all three brothers well. Humayun's failure as a ruler was the outcome of his own nature. He did not have a general's foresight or organizing talent. He lacked character and resolution. He was incapable of sustained effort and after a moment of triumph would busy himself in his harem and dream away the precious hours in the opium eater's paradise, whilst his enemies were thundering the gate. Naturally kind, he forgave when he should have punished. Light-hearted and sociable, he revelled at the tables when he ought to be in the saddle. In private life, he might have been a delightful companion, but as a king, he was a failure. Sher Shah Suri, born as Farid Khan, was the founder of the Sur Empire in India. Sher Shah had its capital in Sasaram in modern-day Bihar. He was born in 1472 to Hasan Khan, a Jagirdar of Sahasram, Bihar. He secured the title of Sher Khan from Bahar Khan Lohani, a ruler of South Bihar. Later, he became the guardian of Jalal Khan, the minor son of Bahar Khan Lohani. The major political events of Sher Shah's reign are: in 1530, he captured the fort of Chunar and defeated the Afghan forces and became the ruler of Bihar. In 1533, Sher Shah occupied Gaur, the capital of Bengal. In 1539, Sher Shah defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa. In 1540 AD, Sher Shah defeated Humayun again in the Battle of Bilgram and Humayun had to leave India. With this, Afghan rule was established for 5 years. In 1541, Sher Shah suppressed revolt in Bengal and divided the provinces into districts. He occupied Punjab and invaded the Khokhars and built a fort called Rohtas. In 1542 AD, Sher Shah captured Malwa. In 1543 AD, Sher Shah occupied the fort of Raisin. In 1544 AD, Sher Shah defeated Maldev, the ruler of Marwar, and occupied Ranthambore and Kalinjar. Sher Shah Suri died in an explosion in 1545 AD. The administration of Sher Shah Suri is well known. During his short term of 5 years, he set up a sound system of administration. Sher Shah's principles of an ideal government were: protect subjects from oppression and tyranny, press crime, ensure the comfort of traders and soldiers, ensure safety of the highways, and ensure peace and prosperity of the people. Sher Shah established a central administration dynamically. Sher Shah was a benevolent despot and divided the government into departments headed by a minister. The empire was divided into 47 sarkars and sarkars were divided into parganas and parganas were divided into villages. The villages were based on panchayat system. His revenue administration was very strong. Revenue was fixed as 1/3 of the produce on the basis of the land surveyed. It could be paid in cash or kind. He discouraged the Jahangir system but introduced Kabuliyat and Patta. His military administration was also very strong. He recruited troops personally. He introduced the system of Dag and Chera. He had infantry and cavalry. He divided his army into divisions headed by a commander. He was also known for a strong judicial system. He was an impartial administrator. Qazis served as judges and applied Islamic law. The criminal law was harsh and punishments were severe. He also established an efficient system of spies, and his espionage system was very strong. Sher Shah also worked hard on his communication system. He built roads to encourage trade. He built sarais for lodging and boarding. He also worked on the postal arrangements. He used sarais as mail post or dak chowkis. He was also a great builder. Sher Shah built Purana Killa in Delhi and his own mausoleum at Sahasram. Sher Shah also gave attention to trade and commerce. To promote business, he abolished taxes, tolls, and customs and struck copper coins. His religious policy was also very strong. Though a staunch Muslim, he was just to Hindus and Muslims and gave liberal grants. Sher Shah was a great ruler. He was the first one to throw Mughals out of the country in their early ages. It is said, had Sher Shah been spared for a decade or two more, the great Mughals would not have appeared on the stage of history. Abul Fatah Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, popularly known as Akbar the Great or also as Akbar I, was the third Mughal emperor. Born as Jalaluddin Muhammad on October 15, 1542 at Umarkot in Sindh while Humayun was in exile. Proclaimed emperor at the age of 13 soon after his father's death. Bairam Khan was his faithful general and guardian. The important military campaigns of Akbar are: in 1556, he fought the second battle of Panipat. Akbar defeated Hemu, the chief minister of the Afghan Adil Shah. This destroyed Afghan power and helped consolidate Mughal power. In 1557 AD, Akbar's rival Sikandar Suri of Punjab surrendered and the Afghan Adil Shah was killed. In 1558 to 60 AD, Bairam Khan conquered Gwalior, Ajmer and Jaunpur. In 1562 AD, Akbar's foster brother Adam Khan marched into Malwa and defeated its ruler Baj Bahadur. In 1564, Akbar's general Asaf Khan defeated Rani Durgavati of Gondwana. In 1568, Akbar besieged the fort of Chittor. In 1569 AD, Akbar took Kalinjar. In 1573 AD, Akbar annexed Gujarat, which brought the Mughals into direct contact with European traders. In 1576 AD, Akbar fought the Battle of Haldi Ghati. Akbar defeated Rana Pratap but failed to conquer Mewar fully. In 1592, Akbar annexed Odisha. In 1596 AD, Akbar led a campaign against Ahmednagar, initially not successful but later regained it and annexed a part of the kingdom. In 1601 AD, Akbar invaded Khandesh and captured the forts of Burhanpur and Asirgarh. Apart from a great conqueror, Akbar was a great administrator. Akbar was the first Mughal ruler who paid particular attention towards the administration of the country, as Babur and Humayun had no time to bring about any changes in the administration. His central administration was very strong. He was a despot and had a council of 7 ministers to help him. His provincial administration was properly administered. Empire was divided into 15 provinces or subas, which were further divided into sarkars and parganas. Akbar's administration is known for its mansabdari system. It was the basis of civil and military administration of the country, literally meaning office or rank of dignity. The system was introduced by Akbar, who borrowed it from Persia. The mansabdari system worked in great efficiency in the time of Akbar. Akbar also introduced the system of branding the horses and maintaining of descriptive roles of the soldiers. The main features of mansabdari system are: the mansabs were divided into 33 grades who maintained horsemen ranging from 10 to 10,000. Mansabs above 5,000 were given nobles of high ranks. The mansabdars were generally paid in cash, but sometimes jagirs were also given. They were appointed, promoted or dismissed by the emperor. A mansabdar could be assigned both military or civil duty. Thus, mansabdari system was meant to settle rank and fix gradation of pay. It has nothing to do with land, also it was not hereditary. Akbar's land revenue system was very strong. Akbar adopted Sher Shah's system of land revenue. Raja Todarmal, the chief officer, introduced many changes in the land revenue system and Dehsala system. The benefits of Dehsala system were it enabled the administrators to guess fairly the revenue of the state. The cultivators knew what they were required to pay. The government also promised to reduce the revenue in case of unforeseen circumstances of natural calamities. The state advanced loans to the cultivators which could be paid in easy installments. Remissions of revenue were granted in bad seasons. Akbar was known for his benevolent religious policy. Tolerant towards all caste and creed, he abolished the jizya and pilgrim tax. He built Ibadat Khana in 1575 to hold religious discussions with leaders of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, and Christianity. In 1582 AD, he introduced a new religion known as Deen-e-Ilahi, which was national in character. He was quite liberal in respect to this new faith. His Rajput policy gave him a strong empire. Rajputs were appointed on high posts. He himself married Rajput princesses. He introduced various social reforms. He abolished sati, child marriages, female infanticide, condemned polygamy, disapproved the system of high dowries, and abolished the enslavement of the wives. Akbar introduced many economic reforms, like he abolished the pilgrim tax, jizya, Jahangir system, and standard gold coins were used as currency. Akbar also focused on his judicial reforms. Trial by ordeal was abolished and proceedings of the court were recorded. Akbar was a great patron of art and literature. Persian was the court language and compulsory for all state servants. Akbar maintained a huge library and a number of famous books of Arabic, Turkish and Greek were translated into Persian. Akbarnama and Ain-e-Akbari by Abul Fazl are dependable accounts of Akbar's reign. Art in all forms, poetry, music, singing, painting, etc. were encouraged and men of talent and skill graced his court in the form of his 9 gems, popularly known as Navratnas. The Navratnas of Akbar are Abul Fazl, a scholar and historian known for his 2 works Akbarnama and Ain-e-Akbari. Faizi, brother of Abul Fazl, he was a poet and philosopher. He translated the Bhagavad Gita into Persian. Abdur Rahim Khane-Khana. Abdur Rahim Khane-Khana was the son of Bairam Khan. He wrote poetry in Hindi. Rahim's dohas are still sung in Hindi literature and are very popular in India. Mia Tansen. He was a notable singer and musician of exceptional talent. He is remembered for the rendition of Rag Deepak. Raja Todarmal. He was an efficient administrator. Birbal. He was known for his statesmanship and wit. Raja Mansingh. He was the greatest general in Akbar's court. Hammam. He was a well-known physician. Mullah Do Pyaza, a scholar known for his ready wit. These were the 9 very talented men who are known as Navratnas in history. Other well-known members of Akbar's court were Badayuni, a historian, and Baj Bahadur, the musician. Persian influence blended with Hindu traditions of painting and architecture. The Gujarati school of painting developed, and Akbar's buildings are Indian in style and are made from sandstone, for example, buildings in Agra and Fatehpur Sikri. When Akbar died in 1605 AD, at the peak of his glory, he had already begun the construction of his mausoleum, his tomb at Sikandra near Agra. This complex was built according to a Persian plan known as Charbagh, Four Gardens. It was designed as the city of paradise. Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, known by his imperial name Jahangir, was the fourth Mughal emperor. Son of Akbar, he was born on 30th August 1569 to Akbar's Rajput wife. In 1611, he married Mehrunissa, the daughter of Mirza Ghiyas Beg and widow of a Persian general, Sher Afghan. He gave her the title Nur Mahal and then Nur Jahan. Nur Jahan is considered the real power behind the throne. The important political events during the reign of Jahangir are: he mounted the throne and assumed the title Jahangir in 1605 AD. In 1606, his son Khusro rebelled against him. In his Deccan campaigns, Jahangir recaptured Ahmednagar. He fought a war against Rajputs of Mewar. In 1614 AD, Rana Amar Singh was compelled to accept the overlordship of Jahangir. During his reign, a rebellion broke out in Bengal, which was headed by the Afghan chief Usman Khan. In 1616, an epidemic broke out in Punjab, which was known as bubonic plague. In 1620 AD, he conquered Kangra and captured the fort. In 1622, he lost Kandahar, and this strategic region was lost to Shah of Persia. Jahangir's third son, Prince Khurram, revolted against him in 1622 AD, and his able general Mahabat Khan also revolted against him in 1626 AD. The last days of Jahangir were full of sorrows and misfortunes. His health was completely shattered on account of too much drinking. He died in 1627 and was buried in a beautiful tomb in Lahore. Jahangir wrote his memoirs known as Tujhke Jahangiri. His diary gives a good account of his life and administration. The emperor possessed plenty of intelligence and ability, but his habit of excessive drinking completely ruined him. He was not cruel by nature, but excessive drinking was responsible for his fits of violent temper. When he was sober, he was magnanimous and forgiving. Jahangir was a lover of nature and loved Indian surroundings. He loved animals and had a vast drinking tank for animals built at Sheikhpura in memory of his favorite deer. He had a great love for learning and other fine arts such as poetry, architecture, music, and painting. He had complete knowledge of zoology, botany, and medicine. Mughal painting and music reached high standards of development under his patronage. He had keen interest in gardening. Some of the gardens in Lahore and Kashmir were laid down at his orders. Shihabuddin Muhammad Khurram, better known by his regal name Shah Jahan, was the fifth emperor of the Mughal Empire. He was born in 1592 in Lahore. In 1612, he married Arjumand Banu Begum, daughter of Asif Khan, upon whom he bestowed the title Mumtaj Mahal, chosen one of the palace. The important events of his reign are: he ascended the throne in 1628 by disposing of his brothers and nephews. He faced the revolt by Jujhar Singh, leader of Bundela clan, and Khan Jan Lodi, an Afghan noble. He expelled the Portuguese from Hooghly as they abused their trading privileges. He annexed Ahmednagar to the Mughal Empire in 1636, whereas Bijapur and Golconda accepted his suzerainty. He conquered Balkh and Badakhshan in central India. He failed to capture Kandahar from the Persians. The death of his beloved wife Mumtaj Mahal while giving birth to his 14th child completely shattered him, and he built Taj Mahal in her fond memory. Shah Jahan, meaning the king of the entire world, one whose reign is known as the Golden Era and who is known as the Prince of Builders, spent his last days as prisoner of his son Aurangzeb at Musambun Burj in Agra Fort and died in 1666. Shah Jahan had 4 surviving sons: Tara, Shuja, Aurangzeb, and Murad. Although Shah Jahan had declared Dara as his heir and successor, but it was Aurangzeb who finally occupied the throne after plotting against his father and brothers. Shah Jahan was arrested and imprisoned at Musamman in Agra fort. From here, he used to gaze at the Taj Mahal because he was not permitted to leave the fort. This unhappy life of his ended with his death in 1666 AD. Shah Jahan's biography, Badshah Nama, was written by two authors, Abdul Hamid Lahori and Inayat Khan. Inayat Khan wrote Shah Jahan Nama, and both are considered to be the accurate and authentic sources of his reign. The Prince of Builders raised many important buildings and monuments, and those are Taj Mahal at Agra, Musamman Burj in Agra Fort, city of Shah Jahanabad, now known as Old Delhi, Red Fort at Delhi, Jama Masjid at Delhi, Peacock Throne, and Jahangir's tomb. Shah Jahan was one of the greatest Mughal rulers. His reign has rightly been called the golden age of Mughals. He was a great general and soldier. He was a great administrator and statesman. There was peace and prosperity in the country, and it was not disturbed by foreign invasions. Trade and commerce flourished. There was wonderful advancement in architecture, and Shah Jahan built many splendid buildings. He was a great patron of art and a great lover of literature. There was great progress in medicine, mathematics, and astronomy. He was a benevolent ruler and built roads, canals, tanks, bridges, sarais, etc. for the welfare of the people. Aurangzeb ascended the throne in July 1658 and assumed the title Alamgir. He disposed all the possible rivals and enjoyed comparative peace. The empire reached its zenith during his reign, but his religious, Rajput and Deccan policies led to the fall and decline of the Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb's long reign may be divided into distinct periods. During the first half, that is from 1658 to 1681, he was directly connected with the affairs of North India. During the second half, that is from 1682 to 1707, he lived in South India and made efforts to crush the Marathas. During his reign, Aurangzeb had to put down many revolts by the Jats, Bundelas, Satnamis, Sikhs, frontier tribes of the northwest, Rajputs and Marathas. The Jats continued their struggle first under the leadership of Raja Ram and thereafter under Chudaman. Their revolt proved one of the causes of the fall of the Mughal dynasty. The Sikh rebellion. Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh faith, tried to bridge the gap between the Hindus and the Muslims. He was followed by 9 gurus. Due to the growing oppression of the Hindus by Aurangzeb, the 9th Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, took the responsibility of defending the Hindu faith. He had to sacrifice his life in Delhi in 1675 AD when he was beheaded under the orders of Aurangzeb for his refusal to embrace Islam. Guru Gobind Singh, the son of Guru Tegh Bahadur, became the 10th Guru and continued the mission started by his father. Open wars started between the Sikhs and the Mughals. Guru Gobind organized the Khalsa into a military organization. From 1695 onwards, he fought successfully against the Rajas of North Punjab and the Mughal officials. Though he lost his 4 sons in these battles, he continued his crusade till Aurangzeb's death and even thereafter. The Guru himself was killed by a Pathan named Gul Khan in 1708. He was succeeded by Banda Bahadur and he carried on the struggle against the Mughals. Ultimately, they succeeded in setting up their independent kingdom in Punjab under Maharaja Ranjit Singh. War with the Rajputs. Akbar had consolidated the foundations of his dynasty in India by making friends with the Rajputs, but Aurangzeb turned them into bitter foes because of his religious policy. His policy provoked a long war in Rajputana, which came to an end only after his death. Aurangzeb's religious policy. Aurangzeb was a staunch Sunni Muslim and he thought that it was his duty to strengthen Islam, which was being weakened by Dara's liberality. Aurangzeb wanted to convert Darul Harb, that is non-Muslim country, into Darul Islam, that is the realm of Islam. He called on sustained jihad against the Hindus. Many Hindu temples of Mathura, Banaras, Jodhpur, Chittor were destroyed. The building of new temples and repair of the old ones was forbidden and mosques replaced temples. The jizya, which was abolished by Akbar, was reimposed. Hindus were excluded from responsible posts in revenue and accounts department. All Hindus, excepting the Rajputs, were forbidden to carry arms or ride palanquins, elephants, and horses. Music and dancing were forbidden throughout the country. Singing in the royal court was forbidden. Painting too was declared as Islam does not sanction it. He ordered that the kalma should not be engraved on coins so that it might not be subjected to dishonor if ever the coins were trodden under human feet. He stopped Hindus from celebrating their festivals like Holi, Diwali at the royal court. Aurangzeb's fanaticism and religious intolerance proved fatal to the Mughal Empire. The major portion of the population consisted of Hindus. It was not easy to rule the country without their goodwill and cooperation. Widespread resentment led to rebellions. The economic conditions worsened, which ultimately led to the fall of the empire. The hostilities between Hindus and Muslims, which increased during Aurangzeb's reign, were precisely those which led 2.5 centuries later to the partition of the subcontinent and the appalling communal massacre of 1947. The Deccan policy of Aurangzeb had far-reaching consequences. It not only undid his own work but also those of his predecessors. The destruction of the Muslim kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda was a mistaken policy. They had served as a check upon the Marathas, who were now left free to carry out their raids. Aurangzeb's long absence from the north led to a natural slackening of authority and growth of corruption. The Jats and the Sikhs got an opportunity to strengthen their hands. A lot of money was spent in the Deccan Wars with no possible outcome. The spirit of the Mughal army in the Deccan was utterly broken. Soldiers grew tired of Aurangzeb's endless wars. Aurangzeb died a sad and lonely man in 1707 at Ahmednagar. Lack of close friends, good officers, and pressures and approaching death and guilty conscience made him write in a letter to his son Azam, "I know not to what punishment I shall be doomed." For knowing more about Indian history, please stay connected and do not forget to press the bell icon so that the next episode reaches you in time. Thank you.